All right, so I want to take a look at question number 4. So for question number 4, I ask you to describe 3 effects on the parent quadratic function, that's our x squared, when it's translated given the following function. So if I look inside the parentheses, we need to remember what's inside the parentheses means we either go left or right. But because this is negative x minus 3, that means we are going to go right 3 units. The plus 1 outside of the parentheses means this is going to be a shift up 1 unit. And lastly, we need to know that the 2 out front indicates either this is becoming wider or narrower, and the 2 out front means this is going to become narrower. All right, so we need to know it gets narrower because of the 2. The x minus 3 means it shifts to the right by 3 units, and the plus 1 means this shifts up. If we look at question number 5, this is a very similar question. So the question reads, the parent function is x squared, and we want to know which of the following is an equation where it's going to be a reflection of the parent function over the x-axis, meaning it flips upside down. So we have flips upside down, and it translates vertically up 4 units. Okay, so in order for it to shift vertically up 4 units, it has to be outside of the parentheses. So the only possible answer actually, where it's shifting up 4 units and it's outside of the parentheses, is answer choice 2. Didn't even need to know that this negative here means it flips upside down. Upside down. Okay? Again, so because of that plus 4 for the translation vertically up 4 units, it has to be outside of the parentheses. Answer choices 3 and 4 are talking about a shift to the right, and then answer choice 4 is talking about a shift to the left. Answer choice 1 is talking about the shifting down 4 units, so be careful of the differences. All right, so domain, again, is going to be all real numbers. And our range, we need to know, range is dealing with the y values. So if I look at this, the y values, the lowest y can possibly be is negative 4. So the lowest y can possibly be is negative 4. And as we look, y continues to increase on both ends. Y is getting larger on both sides of the vertex point. So I'm looking at all y values greater than or equal to negative 4. All right, I'd like to move on to the next question. Question number 7 is talking about factors. So we have to look at this carefully. I have x squared times x plus 7 minus 36 times x plus 7. Well, what do they both share? What do they both have in common? They both share an x plus 7 and an x plus 7. So I'm going to group them together. I have x plus 7. And what's going to be left? Well, I'm going to be left with x squared minus 36. Now, take a look at that x squared minus 36. Can I do anything with it? Yeah? You think you know? Guys, this is a dots question. This is a difference of 2 squares. So I'm going to rewrite my x plus 7, and I'm going to take the difference of 2 squares here. Well, I know the square root of x squared is x. And I know the square root of 36 is plus or minus 6. The question is asking, though, which is not a factor. So look at all your answer choices here, guys. X plus 7 works, x plus 6 works, and x minus 6 works. So by process of elimination, my answer has to be choice 4. Question number 8 is talking about rate of change. We need to know that this is talking about slope, and slope equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Now, I give you an interval. So I say given when x is negative 4, we have y is at negative 1. So when x is negative 4, y is at negative 1. And when x is at 2, we have y is at 5. So I have the points 2, 5. So if I make my little t-chart table of x and y, I know x is negative 4 and x is 2. I know y is negative 1 and y is 5. Just filling in my slope formula, guys. I have 5 minus negative 1 all over 2 minus, oops, let me fix that, minus negative 4. And if we put this in the calculator, you'll get that the slope, m, equals 1. And that's it. Guys, you also could do rise over run here. We have rise up, over, up, over, up, over, up, over, up, over, up, over by 1. Rise over run, slope is 1. All right, take a look at number 9. I have a taxi company is charging a flat fee to pick up customers and an additional cost per mile. So I have a flat fee, and then I have this additional cost per mile driven. Here is my function, which can be used to represent the cost of the taxi ride, where m represents the amount of miles. In the function c of m, we want to state and explain the value of the leading coefficient and the constant. Okay, so the leading coefficient, guys, leading coefficient is that 0.75. That actually represents the slope, where the slope is what? Good. The slope is going to be that 75 cents per mile. And I have the constant is going to be that 625. That's that flat fee. That's also the y-intercept. Think about the equation of line. That's the flat fee of riding the taxi. Okay, make sure you note these differences. You're looking at a linear equation where 0.75 is the slope, and then 6.25 is the y-intercept, and I'm asking you to evaluate and explain the meaning of these terms. Question number 10, I give you the following equation, and I'm asking you to find j of 3. So that means set x equal to 3. Let's see what happens. I have j of 3 is going to equal -2 times 3 minus 4 squared minus 1. You all have a calculator. When you put this in the calculator, you'll get j of 3 equals -3. Well, if that's x, this whole thing has to be y. So I have x is 3 and y is -3. Is 3 -3 on the curve? Yes. So we have yes. And this is my proof. All right, I want to take a look at number 11. So number 11 says, if the difference of, we have 4x squared minus 5x plus 1 minus x squared minus x plus 3 is multiplied by the following. I want to know what the result is in standard form. All right, so let's do this first. Let's distribute that negative throughout every term. I have 4x squared minus 5x plus 1 minus x squared plus x minus 3. We have stay, change, change. Okay, let's combine like terms. I have 4x squared and negative x squared is 3x squared. I have negative 5x and positive x is negative 4x. And I have positive 1 and negative 3 is negative 2. Now I need to multiply this. This needs to be multiplied by that negative 1/3 x squared. Let's not forget that last piece. And I guarantee you this will be on your test tomorrow. So make sure you're paying attention here. All right, so now I need to distribute again. I'm going to distribute that negative 1/3 x squared into every term. Negative 1/3 times 3 is negative 1. Then I have x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. All right, next I have negative 1/3 times negative 4. That's going to be positive 4/3. And then I have x squared times x. Really, there's that 1 up there, which is x cubed. And then I have negative 1/3 x squared times negative 2, which will be positive 2/3 x squared. You can leave it as a fraction if you'd like. That is totally fine and encouraged. All right, so I want to move on to the next question. Let's look actually at question number 14. We're going to skip 12 and 13. While they are valuable, I think those you are all totally capable of doing on your own. Number 12 requires you just to use your calculator and graph. And I want to take a look at 14. So number 14 requires us to remember what a piecewise function is. Piecewise function, f of -2, means x equals -2. So looking at the following, we're either going to put this -2 into the top or bottom expression. So let's look at the top one. I'm dealing with when x is less than or equal to -1. Well, let's think. Is -2 less than or equal to -1? Is -2 less than or equal to -1? Yeah, it is. If you look at the second one, guys, we are not going to be using the second one because that would be saying that I have -2 is greater than -1, which is not true. So we're going to use the top one. I have f of -2 equals x squared minus 10, where x is -2. So I'm going to plug that right in. I have -2 squared minus 10. I get 4 minus 10, which is -6, and we're done. That's all you have to do for this question. Don't make it more complicated. All right, so that's my little brief overview for questions 4 through 11. The other few videos that I have to post are to come.